yeah, we've been having a little chat while the cameras are off about this next topic, so hopefully all the good stuff will still come out. But we were talking about the current school curriculum and what we think needs to be changed within the curriculum. Like, I'll just let you guys go in it. Like, what was you saying earlier?
Yeah, I was saying for a couple of years, maybe a year and a bit, I was working with a company who taught key skills to children, 12 to 15, I think it was. And when you sat down with them and really had a conversation with them about what it is that they think they need to know, they didn't. And I wondered what the teachers were really doing with the children, because like you said, they can read, they can write, but when you need to go on an interview and how you conduct stuff, because we did like role play interviews, we did all things like that. We dressed in suits and they had to wear their suit to the interview, and we had to give them the questions and all that kind of stuff. But I realised when I went into the school that children are being socialised more so than what's going on outside of school. So unless the curriculum can, I don't know, tap into that resource, I think the children will, because I don't think children are necessarily quote unquote educated when they come out of school. They're socialised, they're definitely socialised, they know how to do certain things, but they're not educated. They don't know what that next step into the quote unquote society, because they're socialised within their own their group, within their own little thing, but when they come out, they ain't got a clue, man.
I'm not even sure that they're coming out socialised nowadays, because some of the young people that are coming out of school, they don't even know how to interact with another human. It's weird. Like, I won't name names, but a young person that I was helping, I took them to a recruitment agency to help them get a job, and then they turned up with the headphones, the cap not backwards, but the cap on, the low rider jeans, all that stuff. And I said, all right, we're about to go into a recruitment agency here. At least take the headphones out of your ears first. Like, you're already not dressed smart. And he said to me, look, I am dressed smart. Like, look at these jeans. These are new jeans. Rare. Like, these are Versace, whatever. And I'm like, really? Like, you might be smart, but you're not office smart. And he was arguing with me. He's like, this is smart. These are new trainers. This is it. I'm smart. And I'm like,
you're smarter than the social group.
You don't even understand the dynamics of how to behave in different circumstances. Yeah. Like, you're not even socialized to interact with people. Do you know what I mean?
I'll tell you a story what happened, because I used to do it with another person in BSB. She knows who she is. And we went into a school. We had one school that we were doing, and we had a exercise called I Am. And this was just to kind of get a sense of who the children are. And what we had was, it was like a piece of paper, everyone had a piece of paper, and there was an I in the middle of the piece of the paper. And what you would do, put your name in like the pupil, and then around it you'd put who you are, who your family are, and what kind of makes you up. We put them, and we told them exactly what it's going to do. We put the paper on the table, Illuminati, man! And I was like, what? We were shocked. We were like, what's going on? We're trying to do, no, I'm not doing anything to do with the eye, you know, like, no, that's Illuminati, it's the devil. We were like, wow. And that's why I said they're socialized. Like, so they know stuff outside, but I don't know. Like,
they know how to think the way they want them to think.
I'm telling you, it was a shock. It was a shock to myself, because I was like, we're just trying to do an exercise, trying to find out who you are. Some of them were doing it, and there was actually a couple of them that were like, I'm not touching that paper because it's the devil.
Yeah. This is slightly off topic, but I was having this debate the other day with my barber, actually, because we was looking at doing pattern designs in the hair,
right.
And we was looking at how to do a star, and he was like, yeah, that star looks hard, but I ain't doing those stars, man. That's like Illuminati, whatever. And I was like, it's just a star, isn't it? He's like, no. Something like this, they have power, and I kind of understand what he was getting at, because certain signs carry different things. But what I was saying is that it's just a sign. Like, it's our interpretation of that sign which
It's
gives
also
it
different
its
to get the
significance.
points as well.
That was completely off topic. But
But back to the school topic and stuff. Like we were discussing off camera. You have like you're teaching them how to read and write and stuff, but coming out you don't have analytical thinkers. You don't have like I use Batman as a example because obviously that's where we went to school. You every single year, for instance, like it's just common entrance exam. Children like 10 plus 11 going into secondary school, they do this exam which kind of pretty much defines the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm.
You do maths, English, and a composition type subject, and that is how they base the rest of their lives. Which schools, because we have a tier system. How you grades, you have better schools you go to, you get better teaching. They try to mix up these schools, but pretty much everyone knows what the best schools are, and that kind of determines the rest of their life. But you have in that exam, the questions are pretty much written the same way every single year. So you're basically coached how to answer questions. You're not taught how to think.
Yeah.
So you have like Jack has 3 apples on Monday, 2 apples on Tuesday, 7 apples on Wednesday. At the end of the week, how many apples Jack has?
That's how it is.
Next year, you have Jack has 3 oranges on Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, the same way you're being coached to answer questions, but children are not taught how to think. Like I've seen questions on exam papers, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm looking at this as an adult, and this is how I would answer it. But how is a child going to rationalize this within their head to come up with the answer, as opposed to this is how to do the question, but not understanding the mechanics of how to think to answer the question. So then you go from there where children are being taught chemistry, biology, whatever, and they come out in the world, they're being taught to be employees.
Yeah.
Right? So they come out and they're being taught, go to school, get a good education, go and find a job. And lately jobs have been pretty hard to come by. You're not teaching children to become entrepreneurs and create jobs. So you have all these people looking for jobs in the job market and not being able to find anything, but you're not having people who are creating opportunities and starting businesses and creating opportunities for other people. Because they can't. I mean, like, you're not even taught to think like that. When I was growing up, even like now, I'm thinking back when I was 18, 19 years old, if I was taught to think like that, I can own my own business, I can be my own boss, that is the approach I think that I would have gone with. But growing up, I thought self-employed people and business people were people who were not smart enough to get a job. So they did whatever they could that was left behind. They didn't earn that, so never used to fix television and that sort of thing. But I think we need to get people to be more analytical thinkers and change up the curriculum so that people know there are options out there. It's not when you're finished school you just decide, oh shoot, what am I going to do now? You know?
I think with the current curriculum, it needs to focus more on. I think that they need to think about what's actually relevant to life.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff that we learn in school that once you leave it, you literally never do it again. So I mean, a lot of these things like algebra and whatever, you should still touch on it so that you understand the basics of how it works. But in terms of like for examinations and things like that, we should focus on skills that you're actually gonna need in life. Because a lot of people, including myself, leave school and you don't know anything about things like mortgages or finance or shares or, do you know what I mean? All these kind of things which are literally you're gonna encounter in life much more frequently than you're gonna encounter a need to do an algebraic equation. Do you know what I mean? So these things I think that we need to focus on a lot more in schools. What do you guys think?
I think. Oh, sorry. I think there should also be emphasis on relationships as well, because that's life. That's what you do all the time. You always have relationships. I feel there needs to be more support in understanding how to relate to each other and how certain outside factors influence relationships as well. I don't know if there's enough of that in schools. I don't think there is, or be it kind of romantically, be it just friendships. I feel like there should be a bit more emphasis on how to relate to people, how to relate at all levels. I think that could even be something focused on alone, not just how to survive.
And how to fit into
Yeah.
society.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you'll get, like, for example, if somebody wants to be someone who's growing up who's a bit of a, not a bad person, but their personality is just a bit, I don't know,
ADHD style.
yeah, kind of, yeah. But then, like, they go into nursing and then they get the job, but then they're horrible to their bedside manner is terrible
Yeah.
or whatever.
So they have the smarts to do the job, but they don't have the personality to relate to people. And you see that a lot in the workplace. I mean, the people they're brilliant. They can do the job. They can do the task. But when it comes to, you know, doing stuff, working in a team with other people in the department, they can't do that. I mean, they get on everybody's nerves. They don't complete things.
A lot of that has to go back to the home though, like parents teaching their children to not be crazy people.
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, again, that's something that
Don't be a crazy
I
person.
have that's also something that I have an issue with because there's a lot of parents who leave parenting to teachers.
Yeah.
A teacher has like 30 children in the class. They can't be a mother or father to 30 children. So the parents they leave all that stuff, leaving the social skills teaching and that sort of stuff.
Do you
The
think
teachers.
do you think that Black history should be taught as part of the curriculum?
But my thing is why separate it into Black history? It's history. You should learn all of that stuff. Like I've had the privilege to go to school in different parts of the world, and you can see how things are being taught. Like for instance, like back home, when we speak of history, we learn a lot of stuff about Caribbean history, learn a lot of stuff about the Atlantic slave trade. That is what we learn in Barbados. And when you go to history in teaching, when you learn history in America, is a totally different slant. They talk about totally different things, and I think we need to have a more rounded view of what history is, and not history through a certain person's eyes. You know, like you would never when I was in classes in the United States, you never heard anything about Caribbean history, nothing about African, nothing about Black people history. That
But do we not study
But we study
Asian
a lot.
history,
history.
Indian history? We
Really?
study, yeah.
Asian
We do it in RS.
Yeah.
Oh, religious
Yeah, religious studies.
That's not so much history, though, is it?
It's well, I mean,
It's more of a
it's-
religious thing.
it's more you're studying their religion, but their history of,
History as well.
of that religion is
The thing
incorporated
is,
into it.
with history, it's kind of a thing like, I can see why they do their history based on this country's history and white people's history and stuff like that. But when you say more Black history, like if they're going to do like other backgrounds, you're like, well, how many of them are you going to integrate into it? Because it's a lot of because if I was to do history, I would want to do everyone's history. I wouldn't want to just do one thing, because when you do one thing, you kind of breed a weakness of
They
knowing
don't know
one
anything
thing.
else about
And
anything
everyone
else.
else.
But you wouldn't do it so that history class now becomes Black history class. You do history and you have different modules,
yeah.
and then one of the modules of history would be
Yeah,
the
that's-
Tudors. Another one would be Black history. Then another one would be maybe Angolan history.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying I think they do a bit of Black history already, but it's
like you say that we did it.
obviously
Move on, let's go.
the timeline always begins at slavery and then
Yeah,
Yeah,
Because
like that-
it's
like-
history
yeah.
before slavery.
Yeah, there was a history thing, stuff like that. Twice. Actually, what I would add, about the whole question, changing the curriculum, is one of them would be sex education. So they do the whole reproductive thing and whatever, but then they need to go into like you said before, the relationship, and even down to same-sex relationships, and go into the meanings and because some people thing is a lot of people are scared of doing that, but if you don't educate them, you end up with kids having kids and stuff.
What age would you teach that?
I'm not even too sure. I'm not an expert, so maybe it's 2 years before they leave secondary school, maybe, or when an age where the average teenager starts to have sex, maybe around there. Do a survey, do the numbers, the means and the ranges, and do it that way, maybe. And the other part of the education system that I would say needs to go in is like the whole knowing how to do your taxes, knowing how to like manage your money and like the banking system and things like that. And maybe in school do like an introductory course of politics, so they know what's going on, and
people have more of an interest in politics as well.
Yeah, and do things like that. But it's again, it's
cool. For the last question, no one knows. The Barbershop Banter Show is brought to you by Shear and Shine, professional barbering, men's skincare, and professional massage. Make sure that you follow us on all of our social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and leave your comments, share the video, do everything that you need to do.